Hi, it's Joanne here, Joanne Reeves-Baker, and this video is all about the tip sheet, which you have on image form. It's worth printing out because it's a beautiful piece of art, and if you want to have it high res, I can send it to you. Just send me your email address. So I'm just going to break down why I think these are really important tips for when you're doing video, and hopefully this will help you feel a little bit more in control when you set up your camera and know what you're going to do. So the first tip, number one, know who you are talking to. This is really fundamental, especially when you're thinking about all of those collywobble feelings that you get about video, because so much of it is about judgment. It's about what that person on the other side of the camera is going to be thinking or saying about you and what you are doing. There are two really important facts about this. One, I've already mentioned a little bit in some of the fear videos. So the first one is let them have their opinion. Let them have their opinion. You know, they should have their own opinion about what it is that you're saying, thinking, or doing. You don't, however, have to engage in that opinion. And I go into this a little bit more on the video about criticism. But the other thing is, instead of worrying about what those other people are thinking about, have a think about who it is that you're actually talking to. So really get clear in your head, who do you want to chat to about what it is that you're talking about. So, for example, when I was first starting to use video, I would pretend that I was talking to my best friend. Now, my best friend, she's not as hippie as me, but she's very open-minded, she's very intelligent, and so I could speak to her in a way that felt very comfortable. She would never judge me, and she's always quite interested in this weird hippie stuff that I do. So I'm very comfortable chatting away to her as I go through my speech, as I go through whatever it is that I want to share. And it doesn't matter if you if you don't think you have a friend who's like that, or if you think, most of your friends think what you do is weird or stupid, or they don't have respect for it, because sometimes our friends aren't really on board. So if you don't have a friend like that, or if you don't have a family member who's really supporting you, make one up. When you were little and you had an imaginary friend, make one up. Make up an imaginary friend and speak to him or her. And hey, it doesn't even have to be a person. It could be an angel, it could be a dog, it could be a cat, it could be somebody from your childhood who you're not in touch with anymore. Just somebody who makes you feel like they're interested in everything that you have to say, because you do have really interesting things to say. So, tip 2. Plan out what you want to say. There are many ways to plan out what you want to say. I like to kind of run it through in my head and then just say it, because I like to have my videos as if I'm actually having a conversation with somebody. And when I'm having a conversation with somebody that I've just met, I don't write it all down first and then read it off to them. I'm just responding to their energy in front of me. And this is why it helps if you know who you're speaking to. So if you do want to write it down, that's absolutely fine, because that might be the way that your brain processes information. So you can write it all down. And then if, say for example, as we are right now, if there's like 5 or 6 points that you want to get across in your video, then you've got it all written down there. And that actually, I'm going to leap ahead now to point number 7, make any prompt cards part of your video. So then if you do need to write it down, if you are worried about what it is that you're going to say, you're worried about forgetting something important, just have it there and you can just start it and go, look, I'm so excited, I've got all this funky stuff to share with you. Make it part of who you are. Fabulous. So when you're planning out what you're going to say, point number 3, think about how do you want to introduce yourself. Again, partly this will link back to who are you talking to? Who's your audience? So, and where do you want your audience to go? So I always start my videos with, hi, it's Joanne here, Joanne Reeves-Baker. I like kind of doing that whole James Bond thing. That just works for me. But I could say, hi, it's Joanne here from The Easy Way. You can find me on Facebook. Or I could say, is Joanne here from the Advanced Transformation Academy, if I wanted to send you to my training website. So just think about that. Who do you want to be? How do you want to show up? But do always say your name, because you never know where this video is going to go to. And it might get shared from a friend to a friend to a friend, and then somebody will be like, oh wow, that's really interesting. How do I get hold of her? And of course, if you're ever putting these videos on YouTube, then make sure you put a little link in the description so people can still find you from it. All right, good. So on to tip number 4. Check your light and your background. I am outside for this video. Most of my other ones have been in the conservatory, but Mr. B is busy listening to the Grand Prix, and I didn't really want that as my background. I also love doing outside videos because you can get beautiful color, you can get the sunshine. But if you're inside, have a look at some of my videos that I've already done. You'll see, like, I've put a plant above me, or I'll put like a teddy bear. I'll move it around. And I'm just gonna show you actually how I'm set up right now. I've got like a little flower pot on my little teddy bear mobile holder. So you can have fun with how you're setting up your light and your background. Now, I am actually just gonna go for a little bit of a walk, so I apologize for any wobbling that's gonna happen. Just gonna wanna show you what happens if I go out in the sun. Straight away, you can see I've got a mottled effect on my light. So sometimes, especially if you're just using an iPhone, which is so easy, just do a little circle with your phone until you find exactly the right, see, that was beautiful sunshine, might make me blink, exactly the right place for you. So I've gone in the shade. There's no mottled effect. It's just me and thee, folks. All right, good. Point number 5, it's not nerves, it's adrenaline. Obviously a really important one for all you guys that are overcoming your discomfort about doing video for the first time. And there is another video on this about changing that state from fear to excitement. But when you're feeling that come up, when you're feeling the nerves in your stomach, just say to yourself, this is adrenaline. That's all it is. It's just adrenaline. It's just a chemical change that's happening in your body because you're about to do something different. You're not just sitting down at your table, you're interacting with the world in a completely different way. And what happens when adrenaline comes online? It means something fun is going to happen. We are about to go for a ride, go on holiday, Christmas morning, get in touch with all those feelings and use adrenaline as a good thing. Use that feeling to allow some excitement to come through in your voice, in your mannerisms, and in everything that you're saying. And I'm just going to link that to point 9, which is excited. Say it like you mean it. I see this a lot in videos where people say, I'm really excited to share with you. And you're like, Are you excited? Are you sure about that? So mostly it's just nerves because there isn't somebody in front of them to bounce off of. So just imagine this is a friend. This is your friend. This is your imaginary friend. This is your person who's just said to you, what exciting things are you doing? And you're gonna go, oh, do you know what? I'm doing this really exciting thing. I've organized this video challenge for the Day of Courage. It's gonna be so cool. Tap into your excitement. So when you say, I'm really excited, hear it yourself. And you might want to practice that a few times before you start your video. That is absolutely fine. But if you're excited, make sure it's real. Even if, like if you're doing a Facebook Live, even if you go, oh, I'm really excited to be here, and you can hear it and you think, yeah, that doesn't sound real. Just give it a few seconds and then maybe find another word. You can go, I'm really thrilled that I'm able to share this with you. I'm really so pleased to have you all on board with me. You know, just find another words that resonates better with you so that you can get that emotion across to your listener. Woohoo. All right, so we'll jump back again to point number 6. Look at the lens, not at you. It can be a bit tricky because your lens is a little bit higher than the rest of the camera normally, and of course you're kind of vaguely aware, kind of vaguely aware of yourself. underneath. So I'm just going to make it really obvious now. If I look at myself as I'm talking, my eyelids dropped, and it looks great to me because I'm looking at myself. But if I'm looking at the lens, I'm now looking at you. And that's where the power is, that's where the connection is. And the eyes are the doors to the souls, or is it the windows to the souls? Whatever it is, I want my eyes connected with you, honey. So practice that a few times. That's what tomorrow is for. It's for practicing all of your videos. Practice them, post them in the group, have a look at them and see how they work with you. And test the differences between looking at yourself and looking at the lens. Also, if you feel a little bit uncomfortable about the way that you sound or your mannerisms, then you can avoid looking at yourself by just looking at the lens. It's a really good opt-out. All right, good. So we've done look at yourself, prompt cards. We've done number 8, be human, not perfect. This is a favorite one of mine because it can get really frustrating if you're doing a video and then you stumble over your words or you knock over the stand and then you feel like you have to start again right from the beginning. Personally, I always just leave my mistakes in the video. Video shows you how you really are. It is the best way to show up in an authentic way in your business. And if you were in conversation with somebody face to face and you stumbled over your words, you wouldn't go back to the start of the whole conversation and start again. So don't do it on video. It's like, unless it's like a really, really bad mistake, in which case, yes, absolutely. Use that as your dress rehearsal and start again. But for the most time, it's normal to make mistakes. It's normal for things to go a bit wrong. And showing that it's okay to do that releases a lot of tension in yourself and in your listener. So for example, just now when I knocked over the stand, was that a big issue? Nah, it really wasn't. It was just one of those things. That's part of life. And so allow yourself to show through being okay about mistakes, because that's one of the wonderful things about being a person, is that our journey is always taking a mistake and moving with it and moving forward. So enjoy your perfections and enjoy the mistakes. Last of all, point number 10, we've made it to the end. Have a think about how you'd like to sign off each video. Now these practice ones, you may just want to say bye, but one of the worst things is when you get to the end of a video and then you're like, I don't know how to end it. Oh no, okay, that's it. And you hit the button. And it's like your audience needs a close. It needs the curtain to come down. It needs that little container. You have a beginning, you've introduced yourself, you have an end. So always end with a smile in some ways. If you want to send your people to somewhere else, another Facebook group, your website, you can say, I'll see you there. If you want them to message you, say, leave me a message. I'd love to chat with you some more. And then think about how you want to sign off. So long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen, goodbye. Personally, I always sign off with blowing a kiss, because that's my thing. That's what I do. But I love to see what you're going to do for yours. All right, we have gone through all of my top tips. Check back in the group for all the other videos that I've mentioned. And I'm so excited to see what you do tomorrow. Mwah. See you then.